Hello, everybody. This is Aquataser, and today I'm going to be doing a full review of my Genshin account. Currently, I'm over in Fontaine, over towards the current event area, but it's a very just pretty area to be walking around over towards the edge of the map. And I'm going to be going through every character I have built, every character I don't have built, and kind of explaining why I haven't built them yet, what characters I'm missing, what weapons I have, kind of the stories of how I got them. And I will be potentially going through some Spiral Abyss as well, just deciding if I want to show off some of the teams I have. Currently, I've been building this Kuki, Kazuha, Nahida, Kaching team, but honestly, it's gonna be a while before it's fully ready to go, just based off character levels, talent levels, stuff like that. But it's still doing pretty well in Abyss. So first off, I will start off by showing what characters I actually do and don't have. Let's go down to the bottom. I got Amber on April 4th, 2021, although that's actually not when I first started playing the game for real. I actually started playing the game on July 20th, 2021, and that was because that was when Hayaka came out, I believe. And I guess I could check that by looking. Yes, Hayaka came out, or at least I got her on July 20th, 2021. Other than that, I still don't have a Chi-Chi, which is kind of impressive, to be honest. I've got a lot of standard characters, a lot of constellations, still do not have a Chi-Chi somehow. I do not have a Venti. I don't like his design. I think he looks pretty stupid. And I have Kazuha, so I really, obviously, he provides better grouping, but I really just don't like him, and I have no reason to get him. Klee. Klee's cute, but as you can see, I here have a Hu Tao. When you have a Hu Tao, you don't need Klee. So, not really any reason to get Klee. Tartaglia, honestly, I considered getting him for a very long time. I wanted to get him on the, let's see, that was, it must have been like 3.3 or something, when he reran with Yaimiko. I wanted to get him, but honestly, for some reason, I just never did. And at this point, I'm saving for the Focalors, so I have no reason to go for him now, even though he's on banner. He's really good. He seems pretty fun to use, in specifically the Vape teams with Zhongling, Bennett, and Kazuha or Sucrose, but I don't have a reason to go for it now. I do not have Albedo. I don't have any Geo characters besides Zhongli, and I actually don't have any of them built up right now. So, yeah, going for Albedo is essentially a complete waste of my time. Although I do like his character a lot, and I do have Cinnamore Spindle at R5 because I did play during that time, so that would be worth it. Ganyu, I'll explain when I go to the weapons after this section. Honestly, I might get Ganyu in the future, even though I'm not really a fan of her. I just think she's a boring playstyle. And I think, I don't know, she's kind of a boring character to me. Very bland in terms of her story, in my opinion, as well, which is one of the main reasons why I do want to pull characters. She's very strong, though, does a lot of damage, and I'll show you in a bit, when we go to the weapons, why I may want to pull her eventually in the future. Zhao, never liked him, and I think a lot of the Zhao players kind of cope over his gameplay, because pogoing around doesn't seem that fun to me. I did like his involvement in the story quest, the Chasm story quest, or I guess the one after it, so maybe like 2.8, maybe? Honestly, I don't remember when the Chasm came out, but I liked his involvement with that, with the other Yakshas, but he's just not for me. And then, as you can see, I have a lot of characters from this time. I got Hu Tao, and then I got her C1 later. I apologize, I'm a little sick, so I'm going to be muting and coughing occasionally. I did get Eula. Love Eula. I got her on her first, the second banner at first. Before she did not get re-ran forever. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're back. Um, Kazuha, I do have him. Um, I have him. I got him, sorry, on, let's see, almost a year after I got Ayaka. And that was because he reran when I was on vacation, and I really want to get Freedom Sword as well. So you can see he had Freedom Sword there in his animation. Yoimiya, I got on her last rerun, kind of by accident. I was actually going for Kirara, but I ended up getting her on accident. Um, I'm not unhappy I got her, but I'm probably not going to build her for a while at the very least. Raiden got on apparently March 18th, 2022. I just thought she'd be fun. Honestly, I don't really use her anymore. She's really strong. She has some of my better artifacts on my account, but I just don't use her that much. Kokomi, one of the characters I honestly should have got instead of Raiden that same year, because I'm pretty sure they reran together at that point as well. Kokomi, one of my favorite characters to use. She's just very easy to play, works perfectly for my Ayaka teams, who's my main. Just a very versatile support, and I'm very, very happy I got her. I'd recommend everybody get her. The reason I did not get Ito, as much as I liked him when he came out, is honestly, I think I just wanted other characters around the same time frame. And then when I didn't get him then, I was kind of deciding, I was like, well, you know what? It's probably not worth getting him anymore. And maybe I'll get him one day. I do like his playstyle a lot, just Oonga Boonga Geo. The issue is I just don't want to have to build Goro. I don't want to have to pull out Beto. Because realistically, Ito does rely on those other characters to hit his max damage potential. Ayato. He's cool. I don't know. He's just never really been my thing. I have a lot of other Hydro characters. I don't need Ayato. He's pretty cool, though. And I did not pull for Tainari. I'd just like to clarify. I do not like Tainari at all. I think his design looks really bad. I think his gameplay is really boring. There's other Dendro characters that are more cool, like Alhaitham, who I have. I do not like Tainari. However, the game has decided to give me C1 Tainari off the standard banner, so that's how it goes, I guess. Sino has a really cool design, and he's one of those characters that if I were to ever pull for him, I don't know if I'd ever use him. That's kind of the main reason I don't have him. I really just don't think I'd use him. I'm just now building my Kaching, and she's my only Electro character that I've like actually, or Electro DPS I should say, because Raiden, she's a DPS, but honestly she's mostly like an enabler for the national team. So yeah, Sino, I don't know. I don't even think he's stronger than Kaching. Maybe he is, but I'd rather just use Kaching. Especially because I'll show you later I have a lot of her. Alhaitham is the most recent 5-star I've gotten. He's just a most recent 5-star I've gotten, like, in terms of release date. I got him on his release. I loved his character demo, and he's just a very cool character. He's very stoic, I would say, but he still cares. He's just, like, about people and things. He's just very, like, nonchalant. He's got a super cool playstyle, and the fact that he summons a Gate of Babylon, rains swords down on people is pretty sick, so very happy I pulled him. He's probably actually, I know he's the Dendro character I use the most, and it's not even close. I use him in every Dendro team pretty much. Nahida, I actually regret pulling. I don't like her. I mean, I like her character in the story, but her gameplay is very boring, and I don't know. I don't see why people think that she's so strong. I've used her in Bloom teams. She doesn't do a lot. I've tried using her in Alhaitham spread teams. Doesn't do a lot. I just don't see it. I really just don't see the potential appeal of Nahida in team comps. So I guess she applies a lot of Dendro and stuff, but like, I don't know. Why not just use Alhaitham at that point, right? Dea, maybe I'll get her eventually off standard banner, but I would never pull for her. I like her design a lot. She's actually probably my favorite, just overall design-wise, out of all the Sumeru characters. But, she's so garbage. I can't pull I couldn't, force myself to pull on her banner, so... At least she has a good signature weapon, though, which I do not have. Didn't have Mika, because he's lame, terrible. Don't have Kave, because as much as I like his character and his design and everything, I just didn't get him. Because he was with Baiju, I'm pretty sure. I really dislike Baiju. Have no reason to ever pull him. I have Kirara, who is the reason I accidentally got Yoimiya. As you can see, Yoimiya 524, Kirara 523. I accidentally got a Yoimiya pulling for Constellations on Kirara, because I really, really like her design. Yeah, I got Kirara. I have her C5 as well, spoiling the character showcase later. But yeah, Baiju, not a fan at all. I think he's super boring. I'd rather just use Zhongli if I'm going to use a shielder, or Kirara, because she's Kirara. Liney, I actually wanted to go for, and I did pull for him. I lost 50-50, which means that now I am 100% saving for Focalors. So it's a blessing in disguise, but I did actually want him, especially because of the weapon that I do have, and I will show that in a second. With Fremine, I have no reason yet. He's basically just worse Eula in every single way, and Eula's already not very good. Sorry for being so matter-of-fact about all these characters. Now moving on to the weapons. I have all of these 5-star weapons, and as you can see, there is an R2 Aqua Simulacra and an R2 First Great Magic. That is because I was pulling for Yelan's bow on this most recent banner, and I got 2 First Great Magics at Pity. And I was honestly so sad. I kept pulling, just using the fate points because I was charting course for this Aqua Simulacra. And on the next 10 pull, I got a double 5-star. Which is, I got 2 Aqua Simulacras on the next 10 pull after hitting Pity and losing both times to the First Great Magic. So, the only reason I would ever want to pull Ganyu is so that I could get use out of this bow, because it kind of sucks that it's just going to be sitting here for a while. Especially because I don't actually use that many bow characters. So, yeah, that's more or less the only reason I want to pull Ganyu. And I wanted to pull Liney because I do like his character, and I like his gameplay as well. But I already have a C1 Hu Tao with Homa, so it would be kind of a waste, but I did like his damage, and I already had his bow. So I was like, you know what, might as well go for him, and I lost 50-50. Elegy for the end. I got, oh man, I'm trying to remember what banner this was on. I lost the 75-25 to this Elegy for the end on some banner that I really wanted the other weapon on. I'm trying to remember what it may have been. I want to say it was the Haran Gappaku Futsu. That's what I think it was, honestly. I was pulling the Haran for just any sword character because I didn't have Miss Splitter at that point. But I think that's what it was. It was something like that. And I lost the lost Pity to get LG for the end. And honestly, I'm kind of happy I lost it, because up until I got Aqua Simulacra for my Yelan, I used LG on her. Obviously lower damage output overall, but it is a fantastic support weapon. That 100 EM, if you use Yelan with Hu Tao, it basically guarantees that you can run a HP Sans Hu Tao instead of EM Sans. And it's very easy to trigger as well, so yeah, this weapon, great support weapon, would highly recommend. Especially on a character like Yelan. I have an official right now, but especially on a character like Yelan, who does need a lot of recharge unless you have C1 or are running a, what's it called, HP Sans. Or ER Sans, rather. I have 2 Engulfing Lightnings. I did not decide to refine them, and I'm actually very happy I didn't do that. This is, actually, I got the second Engulfing Lightning trying to pull for the Haran Gappaku Futsu. That's what it was. Lost the Pity again, got an Engulfing Lightning that I already had, and I'm actually very happy I did, because I use them interchangeably, depending on which character I want to have the higher base attack and extra recharge. I swapped them from Raiden to Shenhe, and they're great weapon. I mean, great weapon. You can use it on Zhongling as well. You can use it on pretty much any character, to be honest. Just a lot of attack, pretty high base attack, a lot of recharge, extra attack from recharge. It's just fantastic weapon. I do have a Jade Wing Spear. I believe I got this going for... Oh, man. I don't even remember what I got this going for, to be honest. But I know I lost the... What's it called? I lost the 25% chance on the weapon banner. I was fine with either other weapon, but I got Jade Spear on like a standard banner weapon on a weapon banner. So, kind of sucks. Right now, I use it on my Zhongling. I used it on my Zhongli for a very long time, but now I use Favonius on him. Skyward Spine, same thing. Lost another 25% chance. As you can tell, I'm not very lucky on weapon banners. This weapon's actually underrated. I would say it's pretty good. It has a higher base attack than Engulfing Lightning, so if you have a Shenhe, you can use Skyward Spine on Shenhe. It's a good enough weapon. You can use it on Zhongling. Like, extra energy recharge is definitely useful for them, so it's definitely not a bad weapon. It just doesn't have a lot of uses because there's other weapons that are better. Staff of Homa. Very happy I got this weapon. The only issue about getting this weapon is that I lost two 50-50 or two 25% chances. Oh no, it was 75% chance. I lost two 75% chances before I got this. What happened is this was on the Yelan Hu Tao banner. I wanted to get... I mean, honestly, I would have been fine with a... what's it called? I would have been fine with an Aqua Simulacra at that point too, but I really wanted a Staff of Homa. Instead, what happened is I got a Wolf's Gravestone and an Aquila Favonia. Two off-banner weapons on that same weapon banner. I'm trying to remember if that was correct, because... No, that's not what happened. I apologize. What happened is I got my Aquila Favonia, Ed Pity, then I got my Staff of Homa. So yeah, okay. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but still pretty awful. I lose almost every 50-50. I don't really get lucky on weapon banners. But now I have Staff of Homa. Obviously one of the best pull arms of the game. Very happy I have it. I got Song of Broken Pines and Eula on her second banner before she went away for almost 500... I think it was about 500 days before they re-ran her. I got her way back then. Is it worth going for this weapon? I don't know. I think it looks really cool, and it's very good on her, so... Overall, I'd say, yeah, it's probably worth it, but... I don't know. They just haven't reran it a lot, and it's not really useful for any other character. Mist Splitter, probably one of the best 5 stars of the game. Very happy I have this, of course. I put this on my Ayaka. Right now it's on my Kaching because I've been using her for just trying to build her and test her. Fantastic weapon. Freedom Sworn, actually a very good weapon. People kind of, I think, underrate how useful it is, but pretty much any character can take use of this. High base attack, high EM substat, as well as this passive. You're giving either your character or it's all your teammates. Every character in your party, they gain normal charge of bludgeoning attack damage by 16%, increase 20% attack. And this works, I mean, you can use Elemental Mastery main stat on characters like Alhaitham because of their scaling being so heavily from EM. So this weapon is actually quite good on like Alhaitham if you don't have anything else for him. It's kind of underrated in that aspect. But of course, he's also best at slot for Kazuha, and this weapon is fantastic for him if you can get enough recharge on your substats. I do have a level 90 R2 Aquila Favonia. I wish I didn't, but I lost a Weapon Banner Pity, got an Aquila Favonia, that was on Homa, and before that, I actually pulled an Aquila Favonia from Standard Banner. And initially, I was excited when I pulled it. I was like, okay, you know what? That's whatever. But then when I got it again on the Homa banner, I was extremely sad. So now, of course, it just has high base attack, so I just put it on my Bennett. I do put it on my Jean occasionally if I'm deciding to use her, but It's really not worth using on anybody else. It's a very obsolete weapon. Aqua Simulacra, I already talked about this a bit. Great weapon, but only if you can get enough recharge on your Yellon, or if you have C1. Lost Prayer to the Sacred Winds, R2. I just remembered this is what happened. The Lost Prayer incident, as I would put it. When I was pulling for Freedom Sworn for Kazuha, it was Freedom Sworn and Lost Prayer to the Sacred Winds. I lost the Pity to the Lost Prayer, and then I got Freedom Sworn at Pity next time. And then on the next weapon banner, I lost again, and I didn't even get the other featured weapon. I got another Lost Prayer on the next weapon banner. I basically have no luck when it comes to weapon banners. I don't know if people do, but I have probably some of the worst, personally, I've ever seen. I can't think of a time I've actually won a Pity. So yeah, I got Lost Prayer off banner. On the ban, like directly after the banner, I got one when it was one of the featured weapons. Engulfing Lightning, I already talked about this. Wolf's Gravestone, I got one off standard banner, and I got the other one, once again, off losing a weapon banner, set to 25%, getting the off rate up. Key of Kajna Suit, now that I think about it, this is the one time that I can remember I got the weapon I wanted on my first go. When Nilo came out, I pulled for her and her weapon, and I got her C1 super luckily later. But I did get her weapon as well. This is a fantastic weapon. People underrate it. It is so versatile, honestly. The HP percent substat's nice for characters like Kuki, for like characters like Kirara, who have healing or shields that scale off HP. Obviously, it's best to slot from Nilo as well. But what people don't realize is that this passive, if you can stack this passive, you're going to give your team actually a very substantial amount of EM. It's actually so substantial that I will use Nilo with Yellon as a Hydro Vape support for my Hu Tao. Because this weapon, with her amount of HP, I think it's very close to 75k HP on my Nilo, you're sharing about 145, 150 EM, I think, to your entire team. So you're giving a very solid amount of EM to your Hu Tao in that team comp. And if you pair that with, say, like an Elegy for the End on your Yellon, you're giving about, I'd say about 250 EM to your Hu Tao. And that's so substantial, honestly, that I think it values, or it makes it, so that you should probably run Nilo instead of a character like Xingqiu, if you're running Zhongli on that team, because you already have enough defensive utility and Hydro application. We already talked about this. Other than that, the other weapons I have leveled. Widsith is obviously, I'd say, probably the best catalyst in the game, besides maybe Throwing Tales of Dragon Slayers. Widsith is fantastic. Deathmatch R3, I do buy the Battle Pass, and Deathmatch is a pretty good weapon. I have it on my Yunjin, even though I don't have her that built, because that defense increase is actually pretty, it's pretty decent. Amanoma Kageyuchi. I used this weapon on my Ayaka for a very long time before I got Mist Splitter. Even when I had Blackcliff, I still used Amanoma Kageyuchi, because getting the energy refund is actually very significant for her. This is on the wrong character, obviously, but I do have R5 Black Sword, R1 Blackcliff Longsword, R5 Fav on my Xingqiu, R5 Prototype Amber. This is what I used on my Kokomi before I decided to start using Curling Tails. I do have an R1 Royal Spear. I don't remember why I bought this, but I did. Favonius, Dragon's Bane. I have an R1 Zyphos Moonlight. I got lucky and got one on the banner it was on originally. So I do have this. I wish I could get more refinements for it, but it's obviously weapon banner exclusive. Other than that, everything else is pretty standard. I do have an R5 Alley Hunter, and this weapon I actually do kind of want to use on my official. But I'm also kind of too lazy to level up, so yeah. So since that's where we sit with my weapons and characters I do and don't have, let's go through my builds. What I will do is I will start off by going through this first team comp, just kind of breaking down why I'm using these characters, in which way, and we'll go through my builds for my best character. Starting off with Kuki, she's level 70. I want to ascend her for this team comp specifically, but overall, level 70, 37k HP. She's using the Key of Kajna suit for the time being. She's on 4 Tenacity with a healing bonus circlet, HP Goblet, HP Sands, and just normal pieces here. She is C6, and she is 184 with constellations. And this is one thing that I probably will try and level as well, just because get that little bit of extra healing. Overall, I like using her, but honestly, I'd probably rather use Fischl. It just depends on the team comp I want to run. Kazuha, Freedom Sword, he's level 90, 957 EM, 162 recharge. I'm pretty proud of my Kazuha build. I think he's very solid, and he definitely can get his burst back up, as well as me being able to switch out for this piece if I really need to get extra energy on him to burst every rotation, just get that extra recharge. He has this piece, this piece. This is a pretty insane Sands. It's my off piece. I have this one as well, but I'd much rather use the extra recharge. I have this onset Goblet and this onset Circlet. He has C0, 788 talents. I am very broke on Mora, so I can't even level any of these. Nahida, level 80. I don't like her, like I said, but I assume she's pretty strong. I actually just decided to use her on Favonius, which is kind of a weird decision to make, but then you think, okay, well, you have enough EM, you have 768, plus 4 Gilded, so she's going to be, in this team comp specifically, she's going to be up at about 918 EM. That's not including the Key, which will share about, I think, 60 or 70 with her. So she'll be very close to 1,000 EM. And that's with Favonius. And you don't want to overcap when you're using Nahida. There's no reason to. So Favonius just kind of gives her a way to get extra energy, generate more for the team. 4-piece Gilded. I have a pretty solid set for Gilded that I've kind of farmed for a very long time. This piece is pretty insane. This piece is not insane, but it's fine. It has a lot of recharge. This piece is also not very good, but it's whatever. This piece is whatever as well, but I do have some pretty good pieces on Gilded. She is C0, 266. I do want to level her once again, but I both don't have Mora and do not have the talent books. Kaching, the character I'm building currently. I don't have her skin, although maybe I'll buy it eventually. She is 80 to 224 right now, and then once I send her, she'll be 80 to 234. With 0 EM, but Nahida shares so much EM it really doesn't matter, as well as Kuki sharing a lot of EM. Nahida will be sharing about 250. Kuki shares about 60, I think, to 70-ish. And as such, she will be sharing a... she'll be gaining about 300 EM. So once we get in here, we will look at her artifacts. I'm on 2-piece Thundering, 2-piece Shimenawas. I do not want to farm Thundering Fury as much as it may be optimal. It's just not worth it for me. I got this piece literally yesterday, and I'm very proud of it. This is when I decided to stop farming Thundering Fury, because I was like, well, I have a solid 2-piece, I could just stick with that. So this piece, very proud of, very happy about it. It took forever to get. This piece, also very good, came in the past few days. This is the best piece on my account, and as such, I'm using it as an off piece for Kaching, because it is just absolutely ridiculous. This is my Electro Goblet on set on Shimenawas. Very solid. I do have another one on my Fischl that's worse, but still very good. Just the extra crit rate is very nice for Kaching. And a crit rate circlet that is also very strong, all things considered. So yeah, she has very insane artifacts, honestly. Very, very high artifact quality. And this, I have her C5. The game has decided to give me 6 Kachings. And as such, that's why I decided to build her. Right now, our talents are at 766 without the constellations. I will be raising them, but once again, I have no more because I've been leveling up a bunch of her talents and artifacts. And I do actually plan on triple crowning her because I do want to show her some appreciation for deciding to come to my account 6 times. So, yeah, I like using her. I'll probably do a showcase in a bit of using her. I wish I appreciated her more earlier, but also there are other characters that I prioritize building. Now getting into the characters that I really, really just appreciate, love using. Eula, honestly, I don't use her that much anymore, but I used her a ton when I first got her, and she is still one of my favorites to use, just gameplay-wise. I just don't use her as much as I do appreciate it. She is rocking the level 90 Song of Broken Pines, a weapon that fits almost perfectly with her design. Very good on her. She has 2300 attack, 60 to 206. That crit rate is very low, but it's not as big of an issue when I use her with Rosaria, which is what I typically do, as Rosaria does share crit rate with the team. She has about 140 recharge, which honestly, very, very close to being able to perfectly rotate her burst. Honestly, it might be enough. I just have to test it again. I think it's either right on the cusp of being able to burst every rotation, or it is there, because I do use her with Raiden, Zhongli on Favonius, and Rosaria on Favonius or Skyward. Her artifacts, 2-piece Pale Flame, 2-piece Glad. I cannot get better pieces for the life of me. This piece is very good, very happy I have it. This piece is insane for specifically Eula, because you need a bunch of energy recharge for her to actually be able to perform well enough. This piece is the best one I have on Gladiator, and this one, I mean, obviously, this could be really good if I needed more recharge, but I don't. This is an insane physical goblet, and the amount of recharge is also very useful. I do have this one as well, but the extra recharge on this piece makes it more worth it, excuse me. And the external attack buff from this one is not worth it compared to the crit rate and energy recharge. And this is my best crit damage circlet. I have this one with slightly higher crit rate, but the energy recharge is very nice. And as such, this is where she's sitting. She is at 9, 8, 10 talents. I do want to eventually crown her normal attacks, but I just haven't gotten to it, and it's very expensive moral-wise. She is C0. Now we're moving on to my pride and joy, my Ayaka. And I've shown her in a different video, so I will link that in the description. Well, I'll put a time card on this YouTube video when this does go up. But she is my pride and joy. And all I'm going to say is she is C4. So I very much like Ayaka. Very great character. I have her on the wrong weapon, but we'll go through that in a different video that I've already uploaded. Nilo. Character that I think is underrated. She's very strong in her specific niche. I have her on all of the wrong artifacts and the wrong weapon, of course. So I will be switching everything off of Kuki. I apologize, Kuki. We're just gonna make sure that I can fix this. I think we can do... That should be better. I think that's about the right amount. Her HP will go up whenever she's in a team with somebody because she will get Hydro Resonance. This is about the right amount. She'll be at about, I believe, 74,758 HP. I think is... You know what? I'm actually going to check. It's going to be right around there. It's either going to be that or 75,000. Let's find out. 74,704. I was very, very close. As you can tell, I've played a lot of Nilo. I have her C1. This was kind of an accident. I just got very lucky on her banner. But I do have her at C1. When it comes to her talents, she is 5, 10, 10. I honestly might triple crown her one day, just because I do. She's one of my favorite characters, but right now she's at 5, 10, 10, and I'm very happy I did this. Because eventually I do want to go for her C6. I do want to make her a main DPS. I think it'll be really funny. And because of the way that her E infusion, her skill sword dance strikes. Because of the way they interact with Yelan, who I'll go through next, it actually makes a very fun team comp. You can play Mono Hydro with Nilo as a main DPS, Yelan as a massive sub DPS, Kokomi, and Kazuha, and you can essentially survive anything. And if I'm able to get Nilo C6 eventually, then I will be able to go all in and really just destroy everything with probably my favorite team comp, just Mono Hydro. It's super fun. I can maybe do a showcase of it later. Moving on to Yelan, R2 Aqua Simulacra. This was an accident, but I'll take it. We are now looking at a 4-piece emblem, of course. 4-piece emblem is the only way to go for, in my opinion, unless you have C6. 1, 7, 10 talents. Her artifact stats are very good. I'll go through and just show. This is a perfect piece. You can only have a little bit of recharge instead of attack percent. Another perfect piece with just recharge instead of defense percent. This piece isn't perfect, but it's very close. Very, very solid piece. This is my only good Hydro Goblet, and it is a perfect piece. It's a Thanos where it rolled into multiple different stats, but they're all useful for her. Another perfect piece. So I basically have a perfect Yelan build, all things considered, except for unoptimal substats on a couple of these pieces. But, I mean, some of these pieces are just absolutely perfect. The HP percent is very useful for her because that's what she scales off of. She has 0 EM, 576 defense, 1200 attack, and 88 to 212 ratio. And that could be higher because Aqua Simulacra does go up to 88 crit damage. So if I were to eventually ascend this, I could have about 220 crit damage as well with 150 recharge. 150 recharge is not a lot, but then you realize I have C1, and that basically makes her recharge requirements about 140 to 150. So yeah, Yelan, very strong character, very happy I have her. Kokomi, very simple character, although I do use her on Deepwood Memories in this team comp specifically because it is a Bloom team. I put Kokomi on Deepwood Memories, not Alhaitham. I put him on Flowers Paradise Lost. In other team comps, I use her on Tenacity the Millilith. She is C0, 888 talents, and she uses level 80 Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers in every team comp. Very simple character, very fun to use in my opinion, just makes everything glue. She's the glue that builds a lot of teams, puts them all together. Because you wouldn't be able to run a team like this without Kokomi. Because Kokomi is able to heal your team, which Alhaitham definitely needs, because he's going to be the on-fielder in this sort of team comp. You need healing from him, or from Kokomi. Barbara isn't able to heal enough, as well as you need steady Hydro application, which is very, very good from Kokomi specifically. Alhaitham, we'll go over his talents first. I have him 8, 9, 7. I do actually want to crown him eventually. The main reason I haven't so far is because I've been trying to level up my Gahida's talents. I do want to crown his E. That's probably the one I will do. His normal attacks have very low scalings, but I still do have him at level 8 normal attack. Right now he's on Zyphos. This is, first of all, it matches him perfectly. Like, just look at this. It's almost a perfect match with this design. But second of all, this weapon is fantastic for him in team comps where you need to rotate your burst. Because his burst is where his mirrors come from, majority of them, you need to have enough recharge. Right now he's at 137. Being at 137 recharge, that might not be enough, but it oftentimes is enough if you're able to properly rotate him, and that's why you want to run Zyphos. Even at level 80, even without as much refinements, which will give him more recharge, doesn't have a higher base attack or elemental mastery than Freedom Swarm does. This extra recharge buff for your team, it doesn't matter as much because Yelan is able to get enough particles. But for Alhaitham, it matters a lot. And this team comp, Nilo, Yelan, Kokomi, Alhaitham, it destroys everything. I used this team comp in my Abyss, not speedrun, but my Abyss playthrough on this most recent reset, and this team comp just shreds everything. After this team comp, we'll go into Hu Tao. Hu Tao, I have Staff of Homa R1. I do have her at C1. She is triple crowned, and I went over her in a different video as well. So we'll go through the artifacts quick as well. Very solid artifact, almost perfect. Another perfect roll artifact, just with defense instead of anything else. Another perfect roll artifact. Very solid. Obviously the HP roll could be a crit rate, but even then it is still a great piece. And this piece is almost perfect. Just had a bad defense roll. Could have been crit damage. She has a very, very, very solid build. And 63 crit rate isn't a ton. And actually I can, I believe, change that here. It's a little bit better. The other alternative is I switch off an Elemental Mastery, Sands, switch this HP Sands, and then switch back here. And now we're at about 69. That's a bit better, I would say. Shenhe, I use, she's 188. I do want to level this eventually, but it really doesn't do that much. Usually use her on the level 90 Engulfing Lightning, because my Raiden doesn't need it, but because I will be showing my Raiden, I'll keep her on the level 81. 4-piece Noblesse. Attack, attack, attack. You don't need crit rate or crit damage on her. And her pieces are basically just stacking attack percent, stacking recharge. Except for this one, because couldn't get lucky. But this piece, 23 recharge. This piece, not lucky either, but it does the job. And with that, she has about 190 recharge on pieces, or on teams that specifically have a level 90 Engulfing Lightning. Very solid character. Now for my Raiden Shogun. I have a very, very solid crit ratio on my Raiden Shogun. 72 to 150, just about. Level 90 Engulfing Lightning. If we go through our artifacts, this is a very, very solid artifact. These are my best emblem artifacts. I have a lot of them, as you can see, but a lot of them are not very well built. Or are not very well ruled, sorry. I have farmed this domain for so long, and I've been able to get anything very consistent, except for my Raiden Shogun. I use this energy recharge off piece, is the best one I have, and it has very solid crit stats. I use an attack goblet on my Raiden Shogun. A lot of people will recommend using electro damage, but personally, attack goblet is almost always going to be better unless you're running something like the catch. If you're running Engulfing Lightning, you should just use an attack goblet because of the insane amount of recharge that you get, and because of the way that her passive works. I'm at 275 recharge. I get an extra 30 recharge after using her burst. And the way that her passive works is that you get 0.4%, excuse me, electro damage bonus for every 1% above 100% energy recharge that you have. And that is honestly quite significant. Does he read chat? Yes, I do read chat. How's it going? I just didn't know what to call you. THR Potato. That's what I'll say. Potato. That's what I'll say. I do read chat. So yeah, for every 0.4% electro damage bonus, I get... so yeah, if I'm at about 300 recharge, I'll be getting about... I can't even do math. What was that? 200 recharge, 0.4%. I can't even do math. What's up? Let me just pull out my calculator. I'm so bad at math. Times... for every 1%, yeah. So I think you're getting about 80%. Is that right? 80% electro damage bonus? So, yeah, there's no reason to run an attack goblet. Or sorry, an electro damage goblet. Inner Circlet is also pretty solid. It's definitely not ideal. It's got 2 bad defense rolls. But it is whatever. I don't think I have a better one. This one would probably be better, but it's on my Yellon. I'm not swapping that. Yeah, that's my best one. Mona, I use her occasionally, but I don't have relics on it right now, or artifacts, excuse me. I'm used to playing Honkai. How much have you spent? Quite a lot. I'd have to calculate it again. I would say, let me go through and just showcase. I have this many weapons. I'm missing a lot of characters. Not a crazy amount, but I'm missing a bunch of characters. I have probably spent, I would say probably about 20, I'll overestimate and I'll say 2,500. I think that's higher than it actually is, but that's what I'll overestimate to. Over the course of 2 years about. It's likely less than that, but that's, I'll just say 2,500. I do have the Wanderer, Constellation 0, 884 talents. I know, right? It's a lot. I might raise this eventually, but I really don't have a reason to. He is at 72.9 to 190 ratio. I farmed the Desert Pavilion Chronicle when it came out, once I got him, because I was like, you know what, might as well do it. The stats aren't ideal, but they are stats. This piece could be stronger. I could give him the piece that's on my Kaching, but it is not realistically worth doing in my opinion. Onset Animo Damage Goblet. Not perfect, but it is there. And a crit damage circlet with pretty bad rolls, but it's whatever. It's onset. I like using him, but he's not super strong. Still in school? Yes, I am. I do have Jean, and I use her occasionally, not on Iron Sting. I usually use her on Freedom Sword, or Aquila Favonia, or Black Sword. Occasionally I use her. I will pull up my insane Viridescent artifacts, because for some reason I have like insane DPS Viridescent artifacts. I have this one that I use on her. I have whatever off-piece I have here. I'm a senior. This attack sands pretty solid, 12.8 crit rate. I'll definitely take it for an onset. Pretty solid onset goblet as well, and a very, I wouldn't say very, but pretty dang high crit value Animo Circlet as well. So overall, and she's at 5.711 because I do have her C3. I just got her C3 actually. That was the character I lost, so I 50-50 on Lightning too. Yeah, I never use her. I don't like her that much, but I'm sure she'll be pretty cool to use occasionally. Kaching, I already showed off. Very, very solid Kaching build. I'm excited to keep building her. Nahida, I already went through. Other than that, I use Rosaria occasionally. Her talents aren't very high because it's not necessary. She's C6. My Fischl has pretty good stats, and I will be getting her a full 4-piece Golden Troop set. But for the moment, she's just chilling on 2-piece, 2-piece. The issue is I only have C2 Fischl, and if I had C6, I'd probably use her more, to be honest, because this is a very, very solid constellation that I do not have. Amber only Abyss. Honestly, I would do that if I had an Amber, but she's level 21, so I cannot do that. Kirara, one of my favorite characters in the game. I wish she was better, but I still do use her. And actually, this will probably be the run I do, because it is very entertaining. I use her usually on 2-piece Voodoo Kashas and 2-piece Emblem, because I want that extra energy recharge to get extra danger application. This will probably be the team I'll use. I'll put her on Key. I have her C5. I want that C6 because it actually is pretty decent. And I have her at 6, 11, 9. I will be leveling this, but I just don't have a Dream Solvent, and I also don't have any more right I want to at least double crown my Kirara. Um, I do very much like her. No, I am not Potato. Why is your name that? I'm pretty sure I actually have the wrong piece on here. I think I was supposed to have this one. Hold on. No, that's still not right. Oh, am I supposed to have this one? I think this is the one I'm supposed to have. Hold on. Well, now I gotta do some artifact reorganization. Hold on. I'm confusing myself. Is it this? I feel like I had a different piece here. That's probably what it was. Okay, now I'm very confused. Is it this piece? I need more recharge. That's the thing. Let me take this. Let me take this. Alright, that's better. That's what we'll sit with right now. Bennett, literally 8 talents. Jungling, pretty solid stats. I have her on Jade Spear. I have her on the wrong artifacts, but overall she's typically pretty solid. Other than that, I have pretty much no other characters built. I do want to build my Yoimiya eventually. I do want to build my Farujan eventually, but I do have her at C0. And yeah, that's more or less my Genshin character account. If I go through my artifacts, I have quite a lot of 5-star artifacts. I pretty much only keep high value ones, not just crit value, but also just value in general. I have whatever this is. I have no idea what this is. 378 books. I'm going to use them for my characters on the Kaching team. And 11 crowns still. It's pretty solid. I have a bunch of billets. I actually never use these. I use the sword ones eventually, but I don't use any of the other ones. No real stuff here. I haven't used my condensed today. And I guess I could put those away. Got a lot of furnishings. I just bought them for the teapot. And so with that, let's go to the Spiral Abyss. I'll be doing some run-throughs with some teams I've been trying. First off, I think we can start off with the Kaching team, who I've been in the process of building. I'll do 2 versions of it. We'll start off with this. Actually, no. You know what? We'll start off with the Kirara version. It is Official, Kazuha, Kirara, and Kaching. Official is on the right set. Kazuha, I want to have a little bit more recharge so he's able to rotate his burst better. Kirara is on the right set. Wrong stats, but it's whatever. She should have more HP. And... oh, that's why. I just realized. I thought I had... that's what it is. There we go. That should be better. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's better. 40k HP. And Kaching is on the right set. So let's go ahead and do a little run. Not a full run, just a little showcase here of this team comp. And I'm happy that I can actually get some use out of Kirara because she's one of my favorite characters, but she really doesn't get a lot of usage nowadays. Gotta make sure to double swirl to get the Freedom Sworn buff. Let's run around in Kirara's E. Get some charge attacks in with Kaching. That hurt. Get some swirls. Get some aggravates. Just dodge out of the way. Get more aggravate. Get more swirls. Just run around with Kirara. The nice thing about her is that she just gives so much defensive utility in those sort of circumstances. And my official died. And honestly, that's probably the main reason I don't like using this team, is that if your shield goes down like that, you're basically dead. Whereas with Kuki, because her burst actually has iframes, you can iframe through abilities with her as well. Which is kind of nice, because you can't do that with official. So let's do this again. I'm obviously not very good at using this team. I've gotten a lot better at using other teams because of having to play them so much. Kirara's shield is actually pretty solid. It's not fantastic, but it is decent enough. Let's dodge that. Swirl. Run around, get that buff. I'm just gonna iframe this. Let's do this. Dodge. And that should kill him. Yeah, there we go. Alright. It's not too bad. Not too bad. And this team definitely performs worse overall, in my opinion, than the Nahida team comp. But I do like the fact that you don't have to dodge while you're charge attacking with your Kaching because of the way the Kirara shield works. So I do appreciate that. But overall, definitely worse than just using Nahida, because she is better as a character overall. I just like using Kirara. I will switch here. We will take this, because we're not going to use Zhongli today. Overall, I think I should be good. Where is the... We'll just do that. Should be solid enough. That's fine. Kazuha should be good. Honestly, Kazuha would probably be good with more EM. And then Nahida is Gilded, Favonius. Okay. Cool. So yeah, let's go in with that team. It will perform better, but I just like the Kirara team more. So it is... Where is it? Kuki, Kaching, or sorry, Kazuha, Nahida, and Kaching. The weird thing about Kuki using Ki is that you have to normal attack and then have it activate properly in order to get the Key of Cosmic Suit proc. Let's do it again. Dodge. Get that. Get that. Get those procs again. Let's dodge. Let's swirl. Ow. That hurt. How dare you run away from me? Stop running! I just gotta wait for him to, This guy is just teleporting all over the place with me right here. Should be it. Cool. Honestly, Magu Kenki, pretty reliant on RNG teleporting and stuff like that. There's probably a way to control it, but I'm just not good enough to know how to do that. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, but all other things considered, this team is pretty solid. It'll definitely do better once I level my characters, because Aggravate does scale so heavily off character level as well. But yeah, I mean, I think I can real quick go showcase this team against a stationary opponent, or one that doesn't move as much in general. The Magu Kenki teleporting really lowers a lot of Kaching's personal DPS, because she's not very strong to begin with. And couple that on top of the fact that her infusion is only 5 seconds, it definitely lowers her overall DPS. So I'll swap these two. So yeah, I'll just show off how Kuki's rocket works as well. So she's at 1 right now. 1 stack, 2 stacks, 3 stacks on the Key of Kajna suit. Let's pop this, Kaching E into burst into E infusion. And he's dead. Very, very fun and solid team comp to use, especially against an opponent that doesn't move, because, as we know, Kaching basically can't hit anything that moves. Nahida can, but Kuki, Kazuha, Kaching, they all need to be very close in order to properly hit their opponents. So, yeah. Next up, I can do a little run of my Eula team. I don't have any constellations on her, on Raiden, on any of those characters, so it'll not be ideal, but it is going to be fairly solid, I would think. As we saw my Raiden build before, we'll put Zhongli back on Tenacity. And he needs as high of crit rate as I could possibly get. So we will switch to this piece. That's proper, that's good. And we'll go there. Perfect. 47 crit rate, that's perfect. And we'll put Rosaria on... Where's my Rosaria? We'll also put her on Favonius. I guess I can ascend this, so I might as well, since I'm going to use it anyways. Rosaria, her damage does matter to some extent, but also just getting extra particles is going to be really nice. And we are going to throw on 4-piece Noblesse, of course. So we got that one. And... perfect. That should be plenty, I think. Eula and Raiden are already built, so we will just run with this. Basically, the way you gotta play Eula in this sort of team comp against only one enemy is you essentially just have to, like, hope that you can get the proper procs on Favonius, to be honest. At least from my experience, because not getting Favonius procs and not being able to catch the particles with your Eula is just a sad time. I'm also not the best player in the world, of course, so, you know, a lot of room for error. Drop this. Drop this. Get that. $326,000. Pop the right and ult right here. Iframe through this. Let's go here. And he ran. I missed. I would have got my burst back, but I missed my skill because he teleported. We'll pop it now. He's going to teleport probably here. Yep. Oh, he took me with him. Perfect. I'm going to iframe through this. Drop the bomb. Go with the right and burst. I missed, but I'm going to pop this now. Pop this, catch the cryo particles with my Eula, drop the burst again, and as you can see, this rotation is working pretty much flawlessly as long as I don't mess up. Pop this, 224k. So, yeah, Eula can actually work in certain Abyss cycles. This one I think is probably one of her better ones as of recently, although, to be honest, I probably wouldn't still bet too much against the fire crab on the top half, but yeah, I probably wouldn't bet too much against that guy, but it might work on this top half if you have a not ideal Eula build. Obviously, you could optimize the crit rate, crit damage. You can run 4-piece Pale Flame instead of 2-piece 2-piece. I don't have these luxuries, so it is what it is. The fact that my Raiden does so much damage as a sub DPS is also very nice. Zhongli just does his job, keeps the shield up, and what's it called? Keeps the shield up and generates particles. Rosario does the same thing. Alright, what would be another team comp that might be fun? Let's do the single target Bloom team. No, let's do the Mono Hydro. The Mono Hydro team is pretty fun. What I'm going to do, I wish I had 4-piece Vurukashas, but I do not, so I'll probably actually farm that eventually, just to go full Mono Hydro sort of thing. So I'm going to go Vurukashas there. We will go here. Art of Depth. And I think I'm trying to think, I'm like, maybe I could do I don't have a crit circlet on Tenacity, so maybe I do I could do Noblesse and just stack extra. You know, we're gonna go Emblem. We'll just do Emblem. That's fine. We will use my Raiden piece. We will use a Hydro Damage Goblet. We'll take this one off my Xingqiu. And we will do an Emblem HP Sands. Take this one off my Kokomi. Wait, did I mess up something? Oh, I did. That's why. Well, to be honest, yeah, I'll rock with this. That's fine. Pretty solid crit ratio. Good recharge. We're using Mist Splitter, so a lower HP, unfortunately, but that should go up when you get Hydro Resonance involved. I'm pretty sure I have a team for it. Yeah, right here. So I'm at 42,000 HP as well. This is also double Crown Nilo, by the way, so that is something to keep in mind. Yelan has her standard build. Very good damage. And Nahida, honestly, it does not matter. Or sorry, not Nahida. What Kokomi uses does not matter at all, because nobody scales off attack except Kazuha in this team. So I'm just going to run her on, like, assorted things. And I'm going to use... excuse me, Prototype Amber, because Thrilling Tales literally does not matter for this team comp. I don't think I've tried this against the Magu Kenki, so I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. I think we're gonna go this as the rotation. I think this makes sense to me. Maybe Kokomi first? Kokomi into Yelan, into Kazuha, into Milo, I think. The only issue is that Nilo can't get full advantage from the Mistsplitter stacks, but it realistically doesn't matter too much. This is kind of just a meme build. I'm pretty sure Haran Gepaka Futsu would actually be better, but of course I don't have it because I lost on one of my weapon banners. We're going to do this, and now we're just going to go full DPS Nilo. As you can see, I'm actually doing pretty solid damage here, which is kind of surprising. Pop this again. Swirl. I didn't get my second swirl, but it's fine. Go for the burst. Another nice thing is that because Nilo has such high HP, she can kind of just like face tank stuff that a lot of other characters wouldn't be able to face tank. So yeah, as you can see, Mono Hydro Nilo DPS. Actually pretty solid, all things considered. So I would definitely I wouldn't say definitely, but it is a very fun way to use her, in my opinion. And honestly, I can push this ceiling even higher if I can get a 4-piece Furukashas, because it does increase elemental skill and burst damage by 10%, and it can go up by another 40%, I believe, after you take damage. And like I said, because Nilo's going to be face-taking stuff anyways, you can kind of get away with that, I think. She has so much HP. So I genuinely do think Furukashas could be a way to run DPS Nilo. Of course, a lot of this team's DPS is coming from my R2 C1 Yelan. Of course, she's also Crown, so a lot of the team's DPS is coming from that. But if you really think about it, like, a lot of teams that use certain characters, like if you use Zhongling in any team, about 40 to 80% of your damage is going to be from Zhongling anyways. So, you know, it's just one of those things you kind of have to consider. Like, Child isn't doing a lot of damage in Child International teams. Zhongling is the one doing most of the damage. So, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting experiment, I think, to do this sort of thing. Although, I'm pretty sure if I do get the Harange Pakafutsu in the future, that will actually be better by pretty significant margin, I would assume, than Mistsplitter. Real quick, I'm going to Google what it does, because I think it boosts elemental skill damage. Let me see. Haran Gipaku Futsu. 33% crit rate, of course, very solid. It also has lower base attack than Mistsplitter, which is actually perfect for Nilo because she doesn't use attack at all. What it does... Wait, where's the stats? Oh, there they are. 12% all elemental damage bonus, same as Mistsplitter. When other nearby party members use elemental skills, the character equipping this weapon will get 1 wave spike stack. Max 2 stacks, this effect can be triggered once every 3 seconds. So when other nearby party members use elemental skills. So that could be like Yelan, Kokomi, it's pretty easy. When the character equipping this weapon uses an elemental skill, all stacks of wave spike will be consumed to gain... Oh no, it increases normal attack damage. Oh, I see. So that would not work with Nilo. That's one of the weird things about her kit. I kind of wish that they didn't restrict her so much in the way she's supposed to be played, because the way that her sword dance attacks are calculated, they're considered skill damage, so you can't buff them with normal attack damage buffs. which really stinks. But it's also weird because I guess because you're using the normal attack button, because you're using the sword dance with by pressing mouse one, she does trigger yell on. So honestly, I don't know what's going on with that, but I guess it makes sense. So no, Haran Gapakafutsu would be pretty terrible for all things considered. It's better to get the 16% elemental damage bonus. Because you can get, I mean, you can get the full time out of those two stacks at least, plus another 12% elemental damage bonus. So no, yeah, this splitter is definitely better for her. You can use Key on her, and it is pretty solid just because of the insane HP for this scenario, but other than that, it's not useful. I'm kind of hoping that Focalors is an HP scaling DPS sort of character. If that's the case, she could potentially have a pretty insane weapon, and if her weapon is like a... This is huge copium here, but if Focalors' weapon is like a massive DPS sword user HP scaling weapon where it has like 400 something base attack, ton of HP percent or crit stats or something, like 88 crit damage, like the Light of Full Your Incision, that would be pretty insane. I would actually be pretty happy with that. Actually, let me look at the Light of Full Your Incision now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm pretty sure... Yeah, Light of Full Your Incision is also normal attacks dealing elemental damage. So yeah, I mean, I love playing DPS and Elo. It's one of my favorite ways to play her, just because I like using her a lot. And eventually, if I could get her, what is it? Third dance of her. I mean, her C6 is the one that gives you the 30% crit rate and 60% crit damage, which is pretty insane. But once I'm able to get her, I think it's, let's see, C2? C2 is also really strong. The unfortunate part about it is that you can only get the Hydro Res if, the Hydro Res decrease, if you have all Dendro and Hydro characters in your party. So I wouldn't be able to get that for this team comp, but maybe it would be worth it to use someone like Kirara or something, Nahida, in this team comp just to get extra damage. But this one as well. Obviously, getting the damage buffs for Constellation 3 and 5 is going to be nice for DPS, but also getting... Let's see, it says... I want to make sure I understand this. Third dance step of her pirouette hits opponents. Is her pirouette with tap E? Let's see. Okay, no. So it seems like it'll activate for whichever one. So again, 15 energy, and her burst damage will be increased by 50%. Seems pretty solid. I'm really sad they nerfed the multiplier on her damage so much, but it's whatever. It's still pretty solid. I'm gonna run it again and see how much damage it's gonna do again, because I am curious, actually. This is also one of the only teams where I have mostly level 90 characters. I don't have that for really any other team, except for my Ayaka team. What we'll do here is drop this. $51K on the first tick of that. Pop the burst to iframe. I can just face tank everything because Nilo has such high HP. Let's swirl. Oh, he got rid of my Hydro Aura. Cringe. Let's pop the burst. I want to 47k on the first hit. Oh, I don't think I paid attention. I think I missed it on that last hit. I might have not crit. And so, see, that's where her C6 would come in. Because if I was able to crit higher, or get more crits, 30%, that'd put me at about 82. 82 to 240 on this sort of team comp. Now, obviously, I think you have to have 50, is it? Yeah, 50k HP. And honestly, I could probably hit that with, I know I'd hit it with Ki. It'd be, yeah, 54k. But yeah, I'm just curious, because if there's a weapon, like I said, Focalors comes out, it's a sword, HP percent somewhere in there, and you're able to get closer to that 50k mark with C6 Nilo, man, that would be pretty incredible in my opinion. You could, I'm imagining how much damage I could do with one of my favorite characters, dude. That'd be so nice, especially with the buffs to her. What's it called? Her skill damage. I don't know. I like Nilo's burst a lot. It's one of those things where like they nerfed it a lot. I'm pretty sure pre-nerf it was supposed to be hitting. I want to say it was 40 for the first hit and then like 50% for the last hit. It's not that anymore, obviously, but it would still be pretty cool. And then I also have to think about how this works, and I'll be able to get extra skill and burst damage from Voracashas eventually, so that'll be pretty exciting. So I have done a lot of talking and a lot of Abyss runs, a lot of showing off just how much I've played this game, how much I've spent on this game. And as such, I think I'll be calling this stream to a close. We will be here in Mondstadt for me to log off the game. Thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting me, and I will see you on the next one.